Welcome to each and every one of you joining us for this preview. Racing takes place at Turffontein on the inside track, where the first race commences at 12 noon. Being a 9-race program, note that the exotics will commence from race number 2. The first race is over 2,000 meters, the Turffontein inside track, so there will be around the turn. With me in studio is Rahil Radhakrishna. Welcome, Rahil. How are you doing?
All good, thanks. And yourself, Sheldon? You looking forward to this meeting?
Yes, looking forward to the meeting. As is the norm, we get stuck in for each and every race meeting. We have a little bit of an interest, and hopefully we can find a bit of value for the viewers out there.
Absolutely. Hopefully it looks to be one of those cards where I think you could get a few nice results along the way. And we'll start off in race number 1 on the program, where the early favorite is number 1, Big Guy, Conor Gregor McGregor, at 5-2 in the market. I always get confused when seeing this horse, Gregor McGregor. I think of Conor McGregor all the time. But this horse is coming along the right way now for Kubus Roo. Third last time out to Otto Lucan. And I know that he does have number 1, Big Guy, held on that last start, but I think that Big Guy, he can turn the form around. Now, I know last time out, Big Guy, Alec Lear did mention that he didn't have him spot on for the run. It was his second run after rest, and he just wanted to get that run out the way. Third run after rest now, plum draw with Caden Brewer aboard, and I think that Big Guy could be very, very competitive here. And for me, I make him the horse that they all have to beat.
Oh, I've got to agree with you. Number 1, Big Guy, and number 2, Gregor McGregor. Samanga Kamala sticks with number 2, Gregor McGregor, so he could be the horse that Big Guy has most to fear from. And like you mentioned, there's a lot more to come from Big Guy. Gregor McGregor is a 5-year-old, Big Guy is a 4-year-old. Number 3, Greenback Currency. He's raced in KwaZulu-Natal. He was well beaten by Temperate Zone last time out. So we'll see how Temperate Zone goes on Greyville at Wednesday, and then we'll be able to analyze that a bit closer.
Absolutely, and I think the positive here is that this horse, Greenback Currency, has been gelded. So we'll see how he does take his gelding, and we'll see if he's able to be competitive over in the high felt. That's it for race number 1. Big Guy, Gregor McGregor, the 2 that should fight out the finish. Now we'll move along to race number 2 on the program, and race number 2 is going to be run over the 1600 meter trip. This is the graduation plate, and at the time of recording we have 7 runners that go to post for this lineup, where Moraine is your 7-10 favorite. It's then 6-1 and better bar those. Now Moraine, I think that this is a horse that you can certainly start those all to come bets with. Last time out she ran behind the highly regarded Captain Peg. I thought it was an absolutely cracking run. She drifted out in the market, but she was close up there, beaten just over half length. She now has a second run after rest. She's drawn in gate number 7 with the Keegan Miller board, but I don't think the draw is an issue for me. And I think that she's a horse that has got quite a lot of ability, and she's going places. So I make a tough nut to crack here, and I think that the guys could certainly start the all to comes with the horse number 4, Moraine.
She does certainly set the standard. She's a well-bred daughter of Silvano, and when you look at that debut run, a very fluent victory. The average rating was a 48, so you couldn't get too excited, and then she jumped, and the average rating was a 90 next time out, and a cracking second to Captain Peg. She's got the improvement factor to come, and I think Rahil is on the right path there. You can take all your doubles and all to comes with number 4, Moraine. The horse that I fancy to take her on as far as the exactors go, and if you are going to topple her, looking at number 1, Liliana, trading at around 7-1 from the Mike de Kock stable. She's taken on some fair opposition in her career, and I think she could be the horse for the exactors.
Liliana, certainly one that I think you could include into the mix. Disappointing last start, but I think you can expect a much better performance here. She does enjoy the Turffontein inside track. Now we'll move along to race number 3 on the program, and race number 3 is set to be run over the 1000 meter trip. This is where the place accumulator gets underway, and in this lineup here, which is an MR70 handicap, the current favorite is horse number 2, Dancing Dora, at 2-1 in the market, 5-2 about Clean Living, and we've just got one scratch in. That's off number 4, Great Times. And the bet that I'm going to be focusing on for the show is a place accumulator. So the 2 numbers for me are numbers 2 and 5, Dancing Dora and Back to Basics. I think that both those horses will be competitive. Dancing Dora did go up in the ratings after winning the last start. She received a penalty, 6 points up, and I think Back to Basics is a horse that will enjoy the decent pace on early on, and he'll be running on strongly in the closing stages of the race. So for my place accumulators, numbers 2 and 5, I think those will see through the first leg. Sheldon, what's your take on the race?
I agree with you. Those two horses are for the short list. I'm going to lean slightly with number 1, Stormy Seas. I just see a little bit of value there. I think this is a horse who's taken on a little bit stronger in the past. And if he can reproduce any of those earlier runs, I think a horse that you have to factor into
especially
all the
that run
equations.
behind Anfield's Rocket.
100%. We saw Anfield's Rocket come out and win that graded race the other day. So the form line has been enhanced. Slightly concerned about the draw over the 1,000. But with the scratching will come in one barrier. So I think those 3 horses for the exactas, you can box maybe those 3 in the exactas.
Absolutely, and maybe even a trifecta bet could be one that you could get involved in with those 3 horses. That's numbers 1, 2 and 5. Now we're going to move along to race number 4 on the program, which is a merit rated 96 handicap, set to be run over the 1,000 meter trip, and we've got a scratch in here. That's off horse number 9, Existentialist, and horse number 7, Ridge Runner. He's a horse that we see the Anfield's Rocket form line to the 4 once again here. He was beaten behind Anfield's Rocket last time out, and he was never, I don't think he ever stood a chance to beat Anfield's Rocket, especially at the weights. Anfield's Rocket had him stone cold, and he was beaten 6.5 lengths. But in this field at 18 to 10, I think that Ridge Runner is actually worth the bet here. 18 to 10, I think there's quite a bit of value in that price. I thought he could be a bit shorter in the market. Understand probably why he is at 18 to 10, just based on him taking on older horses. But I think with 54.5 kgs on the back, he's drawn in gate number 3, Keegan Miller aboard, and he's dropping in trip to the 1,000 meter trip, which is going to seem very, very effective. His best form is over the distance, and I think that Ridge Runner should take a power of beating in this lineup. And if I was focusing on the pick 6, I think you could take a stand and bank a Ridge Runner in the pick 6. But place accumulator wise, I'm going to be all in with number 7.
I think it's definitely worth a banker, and I think once you see Moraine, if that comes through to win, I think the doubles will come through, and then you'll see the money come on to number 7, Ridge Runner. Probably started around about 12-14 to 10 race time, and as you mentioned, well drawn, 54.5 kilograms. The average rating at the penultimate run was a 91 behind Thunderstruck. Definitely the horse to beat. And then number 6, Sheldon, my namesake. This is a horse who's been scratched more often than not, had a few issues, and has also been there on a few occasions just to keep the field alive. Could that be the exacta play for the stable?
He could be one that that you include into the mix. I've followed him on quite a few occasions, but he's let the side down. He hasn't won for some time, and let's hope that Sheldon can bounce back to some of his better form to be competitive in race number 4. Now we're going to move along to race number 5 on the program. It's a fillies and mares 89 handicap over 1,200 meters, and you need to get those bets on by 2:15 on the afternoon. And I thought a highly competitive field where a few runners need to be included. And in terms of the pick 6, I think you could possibly go with the whole field. That's just 7 runners. But for the place accumulator, I've picked out 2 horses. That's numbers 4, Vivacious Spirit, and horse number 5, Golden Aspen. And I think these 2 horses should be good enough. Vivacious Spirit is at 14 to 10 in the market, and Golden Aspen at 9 to 2. The improvement is with horse number 4, being a 3-year-old, only having 2 starts to date, and was narrowly beaten last time out behind Water Honey. And I think that she's a horse that is improving. She's going to go places. 1,200 meters the distance. She's on a mark of 92. She's been given 4 points after running second last time out. She does return off her rest, but I think she should be good enough to run a cracker, along with number 5, Golden Aspen, who's in some very nice form at the moment. She enjoys the Turffontein inside track, and she has won over the distance. So, and I think numbers 4 and 5 should see you through the place accumulator in race 5.
I think you're safe as far as the place accumulator goes. When you're looking for horses to beat number 4, Vivacious Spirit, I just think she's a little bit sharp at 14 to 10. You got horses like number 1, Warship, who's trading at around 10 to 1, and number 2, Greens at 8 to 1. If you look at Warship, I remember coming to KwaZulu-Natal and absolutely flashing past the opposition. The next 2 runs, a fair run behind Water Honey, and the last run behind Flower Bomb on the 27th of October, finished alongside number 2, Green. So I think they're going to be right there. Place accumulator, I think you're safe. As far as the exotics go, I think throw in numbers 1, 2, and also numbers 4 and 5. I think we'll be safe for the exotics there in race number 5. As we move along to race number 6, which is due off at 14:50, they'll race over 1,500 meters. When you look at the opposition, I thought that numbers 1, 2 and 3, Sequoia, Iceman Comet, and number 3, Funky Music. They'll have a lot of followers. And if you had to put me in a corner, I'd probably go with number 1, Sequoia from the Mark de Kock stable. Just looking at the weight, does have the 61.5 kilograms to shoulder. But when you look at horses numbers 2 and 3, they got 60 and 59. How do you place them?
It is a tricky race, Sheldon, but I'm going to be with number 2, Iceman Comet. Now, I know that the reins have come in the high felt, and I think that it's going to suit this individual. He has won in the wet going before, 2 runs for 1 victory in the wet, and he has won at the course as well. The distance may just be on the sharper side for him, that being 1500, but I think from a plum draw, blinkers on, and Samanga Kumalo back in the irons, I think that could just do the trick here. He's been priced up at around 4-1 in the market, and Iceman Comet is a horse that I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to bank him in the place accumulator, and I think he could run an absolute blinder for the Joey Soma yard. And he's a horse that has been coming down nicely in the ratings. He's on a mark of 68 now, and he's 2 points above his last winning mark. But I just feel from a plum draw, blinkers on, he'll be extremely competitive here. And Sheldon likes horse number 1, Sequoia, with the Randall Simons aboard for the Mike de Kock team. So numbers 1 and 2, perhaps the 2 horses that you could play around in race number 6. Now we move along to race number 7, a novice handicap, 1600 meters the distance. Get your bets on by 3 on the afternoon. And this horse, Houston, he's a 3-year-old son of the United States. He found the spin doctor too good for him last time out, and he was narrowly denied, beaten under half a length. Keegan DeMello retains a ride. That is a positive sign. He's got a neat draw of gate number 4, and the thing is, Keegan could have easily said, I want to ride Ignatius, but obviously Ignatius doesn't take his part in this lineup, Sheldon. But when at declarations, they would have had some sort of idea, and Keegan has opted to stick with number 2, Houston, for the Candice Dawson yard. And he was a horse that they ran against Profit in that penultimate start, where the average rating was a 96. Last time out, a better run, meets similar type of field, and I think he's a horse that has got quite a bit of improvement left to come. And just based on the horses that he is taking on in this lineup, I think he could just be a touch above them.
He could be above this field. Looking at his rating from an 82 to an 88. So they did push him up 6 points for that last run. But looking at his future, I think he'll probably get to a 90, just above that. So this could be the ideal race that they've earmarked for the son of the United States. Well drawn, a lot going for him. And as you mentioned, Ignatius is scratched. Number 1, Permessa Avanti could be the horse for the exactors. And when you look at the rest of the field, there's some horses that have got improvement factors to come. But I believe number 2, Houston, could just be the business in race number 7. That'll take us on to race number 8, and here's another highly competitive race over the 1800 meter trip. And when having a look at the betting for race number 8, the current favorite is Pragmatist, and that is currently trading at 15 to 10. Number 2, High Moon, that is 9 to 2, with number 3, Bally Magic, and then got the likes of number 6, Wandering Star, at 11 to 2. Let's start with number 8, Pragmatist. This is another one for Keegan DeMella and Johan Janse van Vieren. After running 4th on debut, really won well, 2nd attempt, and then last time out ran 2nd to Good Counsel, where the average rating was an 85. Didn't get penalized for that run, so I think that'll stand the gelded son of Jackson in very good stead. He's probably going to be the improver in the race. When you look at the balance of the runners, I thought that number 2, High Moon, at 9 to 2, that might just be the horse that's got most scope for improvement to give him as a 5-year-old a run for his money. How do you differentiate between High Moon and number 8, Pragmatist?
Well, I'm looking to beat number 8, Pragmatist, in terms of the place accumulators, Sheldon. I've gone with horse number 2, High Moon, and number 6, Wandering Star, the more experienced campaigners, proven over the distance. And I think that I'll be with you with number 2, High Moon here. He's a horse that has run a string of seconds down here in KZN. Beaten behind Wave Warrior last time out. He's got Samanga Kumalo aboard. He's drawn in gate number 2. He's come down in the ratings on a mark of 71. And I think High Moon, he could just be the right horse in the lineup. And he's a horse that he should be able to go closer, and hopefully for the connections he can get that overdue second career victory. And then horse number 6, Wandering Star, Muzieni aboard. He is a runner that is suited to the distance. He has no issues with the trip, and I think he'll give you a good account of himself. So numbers 2 and 6 for me in terms of the place accumulator, but the improvement is certainly with horse number 8, Pragmatist. Now we're going to move along to race number 9, the final race on the program. This is a merit rated 74 handicap for the fillies and mares, 1800 meters the distance. And I know you like a horse in this race here, so take us through that, and then I'll give you my numbers for the PA.
Yes, thanks very much, Rahil. Number 2, Quiet Rebellion. I was umming and ahhing on the card what to do with the bet when it comes down to the final selections. And when looking at the betting in the last race, Quiet Rebellion at around 6 to 1, 6.5 to 1, I just thought there might be some value in this daughter of Silvano. Although she's still a one-time winner, she is returning from a 63-day absence. If you look at her 3 runs back, she ran behind Halloween, she's running behind Opera Glass, Flying First Class, and quite a few horses that have done well. And the form line behind Litigation, she's run to 1 Carlos, so she's taken on some real decent opposition in terms of a 74 handicap. So I just thought from a neat draw, Kabela Matsanyani, this could be the value play in the race. Number 1, Little Mary Sunshine, she's got a rating of a 93 at this stage, drawn out wide, 61.5 kilograms on the back. You've got to give her healthy respect. And number 3, Tinder Dry, I think this could be a nice horse to throw into the exactas and the trifectas. Number 6, Strange Magic, very impressive maiden winner. Now has a little bit more to do.
I think she's improving. I think that she could be one that could run well in this lineup. I've included her into the place accumulator. I've gone numbers 1, 6 and 8. This is something I just don't understand here with this in terms of ratings, because number 8, Eastern World, got the better of this horse Karen's Legacy when she shared a maiden. She was given a mark of 76. This horse Karen's Legacy, well beaten behind Eastern World, beaten just under 5 lengths, won the maiden last time out, went up 4 points, and is rated exactly the same as Eastern World on a 76. So I'm not quite sure how the handicappers expect Karen's Legacy to turn the form around with Eastern World, but Eastern World, I think she could be the value in the race. I think she's improving a 3-year-old daughter of Ideal World. I think that the step up in distance will certainly suit her up to 1800, and I think she'll be competitive. So I'm going to be with the 3-year-olds in race number 9. That's numbers 1, 6 and 8, and I think from one of those horses they should run an absolute crack, and hopefully one of them could get that winner's check. Now next up, we're going to move along to our suggested bet for the show, and we'll kick off with my suggested bet, having a look at the place accumulator and my numbers for the PA. Numbers 2 and 5, by 7, by 4 and 5, by 2, by 2, by 2 and 6, by 1, 6, 8. And this perm will cost you just 24 Rand for one time. So if you want to take this place accumulator for one time, it will just cost you 24 Rand. Sheldon, over to you for your suggested bet.
Thanks very much, Rahil. You'll see I've also gone the quiet route. You went for a nice cheap place accumulator. I've just gone for a Quiet Rebellion. Race 9, number 2. I believe at around 6 and 7 to 1 could offer the value. And I think a little bit of a bet on the nose. If you look at the overall form line, as I mentioned, a good 5th to Litigation. A number of winners from that form line. Has been close up to Halloween, Flame Flower and Khan Judy at recent attempts. Last time they did try with the blinkers, and I fancy that she could be the value in race 9. And then number 3, Tinder Dry, if you're looking to throw into the exactas at around 20 to 1, that could be one of the horses to include. So thanks very much to Rahil, and to all the viewers out there. We hope you have a wonderful and a profitable day's racing at the races.